What's up, buddies? Today we got Batgirl Annual and Supergirl in Prison Break. So I got this book and I was kind of thinking that I was going to roast it. I know that Captain Cummins had been talking a little bit about how these stories were pretty good, but I thought, I don't know, this looks a little cheesy. But I also secretly wanted to give it a chance. But so we get started here, and I instantly got sad because I saw this. Come back, Samurai Jack. But anyway, so we start out here, and we've already got some action going. Like they start out instantly in a scene here. We got rain, we've got Cowboy Captain America, we've got Batgirl sitting here, and she's actually kind of tangled up, which would kind of think that maybe that would keep you from being able to move very quickly. But anyway, so they're trying to break in, they're trying to steal something. She catches them, but she's in National City, which is home to a particular Supergirl. And so his hat gets snatched, and they're both distracted. And then in walks Supergirl. So she makes herself known, and here's the story then. And here's everybody that worked on it. So here's the thing about this comic. This comic turns out to be the best of both worlds, because you get, like, it's almost two stories in this. The first half you get Batgirl and Supergirl, and the second half you get Babs, okay? And they're drawn differently, so it's almost like everybody gets something out of it. You know, unlike where Marvel does one drawing style and then switches to another drawing style and they're both crap, this kind of gives you the best of both worlds. I don't like the way they're really drawn here, but I like the way that this person does faces, okay? And I like the coloring. But I like the style of the other comic better. But this is actually pretty good. I just like the other better. I mean, I'm sorry. But anyway, so they kind of have a back and forth banter here, and the guy runs off. And what's funny is, for some reason, she never really chases after people. But she does, but she doesn't. Like, she says, "You want me to go after?" He says, "No, I got a tracker. I'll give him tomorrow." Okay, so you done with him right now? But anyway, so they're talking back and forth, and for a second I cringed almost, because when they started talking, they instantly became friends, you know, and I was kind of like, oh no, don't pull a Marvel, just because we're two females, we don't have to be friends. But they did it in a good way, because women naturally don't like conflict. I know Diversity in Comics, I think, kind of talked about that, but women don't. And if you've ever talked to a woman, like especially if you talk to a girlfriend or a wife, you ever notice how when you talk about a conflict that you're in, like they instantly want the conversation to be over with? Like if you're talking about you got into conflict with somebody, they don't want to hear about the conflict. They just go, there you go again. You know, like they want it to be over. So I could kind of see this right here. Like these two women are just trying to get along. So they're sitting there talking. And the thing I like about them is they both have different personalities. Look at the way they're sitting. They're both sitting different. They're both talking different. It's a good story. So anyway, she's talking about how someone contacted her psychically in Kryptonian and gave her coordinates to come save her at Cadmus. And her name was Gale. Oh no, not her. Leave her there. But that's a whole different story. If you get the joke, put LOL in the comments. But they're talking about what may be waiting for them, and how she wants Batgirl's help. But Batgirl doesn't really understand that because she doesn't have any superpowers. But Supergirl's trying to tell her that, you know, she needs a good face because she's an illegal alien and she needs help. But anyway, so they have a nice little back and forth, and then she agrees, and she says, "Yay!" You know, and it's kind of they have actual personalities. So anyway, they're breaking in, and she's using all of her tech, and then I got distracted for a minute, and then I got back to the story, and she is so distracted by talking to Supergirl that when she falls in the window that she almost triggers the lasers. And I thought this was pretty funny right here. She says, "Watch my pants, you're giving me a wedgie." But, you know, because they actually have personalities. But anyway, they're talking, and she says that this was developed by Wayne Tech, and she actually helped them write the code so she knows all the passwords. Well, this doesn't go as planned because it sets off the alarm, and they realize that Batman has changed the codes because he doesn't trust her, more than likely. Because he doesn't trust anybody, I'm sorry. But I don't know, I don't really like the way she's drawn. She's almost too skinny sometimes. But, like, she doesn't have any form. But I do like that they know how a woman's built sometimes. You know, if she is slender, you know, they draw the hip bone and all that kind of stuff. That's just me critiquing. So, we got the white patriarchy here keeping the boy down. And when the alarm goes off, it gives him his chance to knock the guard out. And then we start seeing these snowflakes around, so instantly you know that he's probably got some kind of snow ability, because this is Cadmus and they experiment on people. That's a pretty good cover. Black Dawn, Part 1. That looks pretty cool. Do you remember in my last videos that I was saying that I like when Superman has a little bit darker color? I like that. So anyway, they're making their way through the Cadmus installation, and that's when they notice the snowflakes, and then you instantly know what's going on. With all the snowflakes around, there's probably Antifa. I mean, there's probably this kid with his secret abilities that they've experimented on, and he thinks that they're there to take him back because he's in defense mode. So he attacks them and retaliates. It blows them back. And so then we get a different scene here where they're trying to get him to calm down, but he's not really listening because he's kind of blacked out at this point. But Batgirl is instantly thinking of a way to stop what's going on. A lot like Batman, you know, she gets that from Batman where she can kind of think her way out of a situation. We get a pretty cool scene here. It's not my most favorite style of art with this. It's a little bit too computery, too generic, you know, but it's pretty good. So she uses this chemical which reacts with heat and makes like jet fuel and is able to evaporate all the snow and stop the boy. So at this point, they're able to talk to him, kind of find out what's going on, give him some help. And look at the expressions on the faces. Very expressive. Even from a distance, you can tell expressions. Eat your heart out, Marvel. You know? Look at that. She's cooling him off a little bit. They think about this kind of stuff, you know? I'm not just singing her praises, but it seems very intelligent, like it's very thought out. So as they're walking through here, we get this neat little shadow. Almost reminds us of Superman. Or not Superman, but Batman, I'm sorry. And she's carrying the boy. They've got to get him out of there. And they finally find Gale that they've been looking for. Now, call me crazy, but is this Gale not the girl that's the Kryptonian that was the Green Lantern? She instantly blasts out of there. Does that not look like her? Is that not her? I may be mistaken, but that looks like the Kryptonian from the first Green Lanterns. But anyway, it also looks like her Supergirl sister on the TV show. But I mean, so instantly when they get her out, they realize that they've done the wrong thing because she says she needs to get to the Phantom Zone to get help. And they said there's no reason to go to the Phantom Zone. You know, you don't just go there. And so she says, well, I need your strength to go there. And that's when they realize, uh-oh, they've done the wrong thing. She drains Supergirl's power in order to go to the Phantom Zone. So when she leaves, Supergirl is drained. And Batgirl has to, you know, the situations are flipped. Now she's got to save Supergirl instead of Supergirl always saving Batgirl. You know what I mean? So she gets her out. They're sitting there. They're both exhausted. What did Gale say where she was going? And they talked about the Phantom Zone. Babs doesn't know, so she explains the Phantom Zone to her. And then from that point on, they're both just talking about the situation. And they're coming up with different codes for her phone because Batgirl keeps breaking into it, and blah blah blah. So here's where the story changes to a different dynamic. She's after someone called Black Riot. She's talking about how she keeps canceling on her friend, and then all these different situations, which is kind of funny. Got a lot of expression on her face. Neat little comic situations. So she walks in on Black Riot. He tries to fight her. See, that's called expression. He's fighting with her. She's jumping out of the way. He's trying to escape. He tries to take him as a hostage, but she kicks him out the window and is able to overpower him. He runs off. She gives chase. And that's when we change here. We change stories. Basically, we change artists. And I really like the way that they draw the friend and Babs here. But it was such a change. I'm not used to annuals that much that I thought that it was a different character. But anyway, generic Muslim roommate. Just like they talk about, all Muslims don't have to be dark skinned. That's not a race. That's a religion. You could have done a light skinned person, just for once. But anyway, they have to put them in one comic at least. Especially if there's a girl superhero, you have to put a Muslim in there. It's the rules, man. So they're talking about their friend-iversary because women, and they're going out on their friend-iversary, and she gets a call from her eye in the sky that they found where Black Riot is. And eat your heart out, Marvel, because you would never draw a girl like this. You would never draw her feminine. But anyway, they're talking about how she's going to have to leave her friend. She feels bad about it. As they're talking, the friend kind of gives her a surprise because she says, "I'm going to go with you." So then we get this whole dynamic. And this is almost like a TV show at this point. She says, "Yeah, let's go." Because she tells her that she's going to meet a professor. And she says, "Well, I can help you with that." So they get there, and the friend instantly knows that something's not quite the same. They break in. They find people unconscious in the building. And that's when they start kind of talking back and forth about their best friends. And then we get creepy boy hair, girly friendships, Hal Tunchin, mind if I watch. Oh gosh. So we get Black Riot again. And he has got his new upgrade now, so he's able to mine data wirelessly. And they're trying to stop him. We get some back and forth. That's a pretty cool cover. She's not able to turn to Batgirl because her friend, so she's trying to fight him without showing off too much of her talent, and that gets her kind of thrown off a little bit. And that's when the friend actually joins in on the fighting, which I thought was pretty funny. So they both just go to town on him because he's not known in this comic to be much of a fighter. He's more of a opportunist. He likes to mine data and then pick on weaker people. They go back and forth. Look at this cool scene here. Smack. And then her friend starts kicking him while he's down. Look, they have more expression in those little bitty figures than Marvel has in like figures this big. But anyway, they capture him, save the day. Come on, camera, focus. Focus with me. As The Rock says, focus! But anyway, so they save the day. All's good. And then at the end of the day, they're still friends. She lets her flip the bat signal on and their friend-iversary. I kind of cringed at it at first because I was like, oh my gosh, why do they have to have these things like friend-iversaries and all this crap in comics that have women just because? But it was actually a pretty good little story. I liked it. I wouldn't necessarily recommend to go read it, but that's not why I got it. I got it to roast, and then I was kind of pleasantly surprised that it was a pretty good story. You get Batgirl and Supergirl, half of it, and then you get Babs and her friend situation, the second half. It's not all one or the other. So all in all, it's decent. I give this like a 7.5 out of 10. Very readable. I suggest it. Not if you're just looking for a superhero book, but if you're looking for a good story. But yeah, pretty decent. Tell me what you guys thought about it. Tell me what else you'd like to review. And I may go try to find some more dollar comics to roast. So you may be seeing some more in the comments. But alright guys, that was Batgirl, the annual #1 one shot. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.